Thank you so much for coming to this. This is a very special moment for me because I get to talk to my hero, Weird Al Yankovic, who has the #1 album on the Billboard charts. It's about time is right. It was one of those things where when that came out, I was like, it hasn't happened already? Because you had, like, almost every album of yours is gold, platinum.
It hasn't happened to anybody. This is the first one since 1963, since Alan Sherman, that's a comedy album at the top of the chart. So
that's ridiculous.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew?
It's insane. It's also like, thank you for taking time to do this. And this is look at how many phones are out.
I can't even see the end of the crowd. It's so huge.
Yeah. No. It ends right there.
There it is. Yeah.
There's a thing that I like to say this about. I believe in time travel in a way that I'm getting to meet you now because of you. Because of you inspiring me to get into comedy as a kid and making it seem like, I felt so cool for being into Weird Al. I don't know about you guys, but like, I had Weird Al shirts and and I thought it was cool. Like, you were my friend that I had fun with music with, and Joel and Tom Servo and Crow were my friends that I watched movies with. You guys are my friends.
Right.
And because of you inspiring me to show me that I can take all the things I like and make a career in comedy, because of the things that you inspire me to do, I now get to meet you, and I think that's time travel, and I'm so thankful to call you a acquaintance.
Oh, thanks. Well, I'm glad I was your friend before I was your friend.
Yeah. But we're gonna have a chit chat, and then we will just a casual chat.
Shall we?
Where do you get your ideas
well,
from? Where do you get your
Jonah,
ideas from?
Well,
you're just
oh my.
you're funny ideas.
We're very casual. I'm so casual. Oh my. Very casual. Very casual. Hello.
I think it's incredible. Also, you just announced that this fall, the 25th anniversary of UHF Blu-ray will be coming out.
That's right. Yes.
So, I'm just gonna say things and kill time while you guys applaud.
Well, I've known it for a while, and it's been hard to keep secret because Shout Factory wanted to announce it last night here at Comic-Con, and people have been asking, all during this whole promotional tour for the album, like, so 25th anniversary, anything happening with UHF? Like, maybe.
You're a horrible liar, Al.
But yeah, they just announced it. It's going to be released in November. I think the same day as The Complete Al, which is an old, out-of-print thing. That
was the first collection, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not a collection. It's sort of like a mockumentary. It's sort of like, it's like my very first 8 music videos, but wrapped around like the bogus account of my life story.
Yes. Blind Melon Yankovic, I believe, was your grandfather?
Was that in that one? I think that might have been in the Disney special.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
And so that's incredible too. I love UHF. It's one of my favorite comedies. I think if SCTV was ever able to make a movie, it would have been UHF.
Well, SCTV was a huge influence. I watched that religiously, as well as Monty Python and everything else. That was it really informed my comedy.
Yeah, and it shows there, and it's really interesting to see that all the music videos we're making up to that point were just it's almost like it was your proving ground that you could make a parody movie that also had a lot of heart in it.
Yeah, it was the plot line itself wasn't really unusual. It was kind of a cookie cutter plot, but we weren't really focused on the plot. It was like, well, we just need some kind of movie to hang all these parodies on. We just wanted to do a lot of gags and commercial parodies and movie parodies and TV parodies. And if I had to go back and do it again, I might have had the actual plot be a little more interesting.
I like that plot.
Well, you do? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, well, did it make you my friend?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then it was worth it.
Come on, everyone has a scumbag uncle.
Okay.
It's like a driving force. What is it like now to you had your long career, and this was your last record on the contract that you signed when you were 20.
what was I, 23, maybe 22 when I signed it. Yeah.
And so you've been part of the same record contract for that long. It's been re-upped a couple times, and it moved labels, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I was an asset. So I signed with Scotty Brothers in 1982, and it got sold and sold again, and sold again, I believe. And the original contract was 10 albums, which back then, I was working in the mailroom for minimum wage, and it wasn't a great deal. And I thought, yeah, like I'll ever have 10 albums. That's a good one. And in the meanwhile, it got renegotiated, and a couple more albums got tacked on, and renegotiated, and a couple more albums got tacked on. So it became a 14-album deal, which I have just fulfilled a short 32 years later.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the world is better for it, Alfred. And it's so nice to end that contract on the highest point.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It feels good. Like, my little swan song. Oh, there you go. #1 album. Thank you very much.
Yeah. It's like basically, it's just you say the best joke at a party, and you're like, and then I go. And you just,
It's dropping the mic.
I want you to do that all the time. Now what did you have a feeling that this album was going to be anything bigger than the ones before?
Well, you always hope. I was thinking, because 2 albums ago I had a #10 album, and my last album went to #9, and I thought if I could make it to #8, that'd be awesome. Because then I'd be out with my highest charting album, and I'd feel validated, and that'd be wonderful. But no, this is nothing like I would never in my wildest dreams have expected things to blow up the way that they did.
It's incredible, and it's because a lot of people were saying when you had White and Nerdy, which is an incredible song, and you're just an insanely good rapper. I guess growing up close to Compton was pretty good for you.
It's in my DNA.
Yeah, exactly. You, Easy, the boys
me and
hanging
Dre
out.
hanging out in Linwood.
But it's got to be a good feeling that so many times you've just flown in the face of people that just consider comedy music a novelty act, where you just have proven over and over again and how big it can get and how great it can be.
Yeah, I mean, when I started out, I've told this story a lot of times, but it was difficult for me to get signed to a record deal because every place I went, people were like, oh yeah, this novelty thing, right, comedy music, right, you'll be around for like 2 months, and we're looking for artists that have staying power. They're gonna be around for a while. Okay, sorry I couldn't help you.
And what, like the idea of going towards comedy music, it's as opposed to just making songs of like the music you liked. Was the parody the first idea of making an original song, or was it more of just you wanted to just make music and kind of make it funny?
I'd always done kind of funny music, and I'd been doing both the parodies and the originals. I think the very first song that I sent Dr. Domeno was an original song called Belvedere Cruising.
That's right.
Which was an original song about the family car. It was a big black 1964 Plymouth Belvedere with red upholstery and push button transmission. It was like it was a bomb. It was amazing.
Yeah. That's quality living, friend.
Yeah, and Dr. Domeno thought it was unique for a teenage boy with an accordion to be writing a song about his car. So he played it on the radio.
And then it just the stuff that really started picking up on the show, though, was when you did My Bologna, right?
Right. Well, that was the first, actual hit. Before that, it was like me changing my voice. Yeah, I want to hear that Weird Al song on the radio. And,
Who's this, Al?
Oh, got me again.
What's your?
But that was the first time other people actually wanted to hear it.
Yeah, that's incredible. And it's and if you guys haven't read the book, Weird Al the book. Which
catchy
is
title.
Really good. Says what it is.
It does.
Yeah. It's an incredible book that really is it's so weird though that it already got released. You need to do another version of it now that'll include the last album.
Well, Nathan Rabin said at the end of the book, and the best things are yet to come. So he left it open for a sequel.
He's a psychic.
He's prescient.
Yeah, that's incredible. And then you did this thing that was awesome as well, which is you did 8 videos in 8 days.
No, it was nine videos, 9 days. That was the hashtag.
No. You did there was 8. I'm pretty sure because I remember the hashtag. 8 videos, 8 days.
It was not. Oh wait. I know what it was. I made 9 videos, but I only released 8 of them.
Oh.
Because
Well, yeah. That's actually a really good question. Thing is,
I brought it with me. Do you want to see it?
Oh, you brought it with you. So I guess this is the world premiere of the ninth video.
Well, you guys are the only people that are going to see it, so I hope you like it. Here it is.
You really are a chameleon, friend. And might I say, sexy work on that wrecking ball.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
There's a point that I realize, and I think it's like a lot of us can agree that at a certain point we listen to an album of yours and realize that we're now old because I don't know. I don't like on the new album. I was like, this is another original. So I was like, no, it's one of the biggest songs in the country. I'm like, oh, I'm out of touch. And that's, you're able to re-up it every single time and stay in touch with it. That's got to be exhausting, listening to just this pop music for so long and to be so invested.
It's part of my job description. I have to be aware of what's happening on the charts, and I listen to Top 40 radio. I appreciate it and I enjoy it. Okay, it wouldn't be my first choice of what to listen to, but I'm a fan of it and I don't mind it.
And that's another interesting thing is that you're an incredible music fan. It's and that's why I always really appreciate that you have a lot of deep cuts. Tony O'Kay. You have song style parodies of that band. And when you are just listening to music, what do you put on?
People ask me that. I hate to here's all the songs on my iPod, but but it's stuff like like in college I listened to new wave, like B-52s and Devo and Oingo Boingo and Talking Heads.
So you've kind of been you listen to more of the alternative side of
the alternative stuff. Anything that's a little left of center, kind of quirky.
Yeah, and then you said when like Nirvana came out, you were just blown away by Nirvana. And had you known about them before,
I was kind of following their rise of the charts, and I never thought that they would be as big as they were because it was a band that I liked, and generally that kind of stuff doesn't get to be really popular. And I thought, oh, that'd be a fun parody to do, but good luck with that Nirvana. And then they hit number one. I was like, okay, it's time.
Yeah. I really think now that you're out of your contract, you should do just like your own kind of greatest hits of like all the songs throughout the years that you've wanted to parody that like you would, but you kind of take a step back and go, well, I can't because it wouldn't really sell well, because you also have to keep that in mind, correct?
Like do a bunch of parodies of songs nobody's ever heard of kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah. And it would just be for you. Do you.
That's
just
an idea.
You got your number one. Experiment.
Right. I'm going through my experimental phase now.
Yeah, exactly. I write in your book that, and this blows me away with how in tune you are to everything that you enjoy, is that you wrote the Saga Begins, the American Pie.
The parody, yeah.
Yeah. You wrote the lyrics of that having not seen episode 1 of Star Wars.
That's correct, yeah.
Did you guys know that? He wrote that entire song, all the lyrics, without having seen it, and it was so spot on, which is kind of a weird diss to the movie. That, like, you're like, I got it, I know what you're gonna do.
No, I'd seen the trailer, and... No, and I kind of put together the plot of the movie because I've been reading all the spoilers that were creeping up on the internet. I'm not sure where they came from. I guess somebody was digging through Lucas's trash bin or something. I don't know what. Yeah. But a lot of the plot basically appeared in various shapes and forms online, and I basically was able to figure out the movie and write the song based entirely on internet rumors and spoilers.
It's so insane to me, and I wish that there was like you just kind of messed up one thing in it. And then like you go, and then everyone dies except for Luke, or some weird thing.
I have to say that I had the whole song written, and I think recorded it in the can, and I did go to the it was a charity screening of the Phantom Menace because I before we like mailed out the CD, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't completely. No, it's not about Anakin at all.
Yeah. That's the fake movie we made.
Right. Psych!
I got all the money.
So it was pretty accurate. So we put out the album as it was.
That's incredible, and do you like episode 1?
Well, I like all the Star Wars movies, but if I had to rank them, I'd go 5, 4, 6, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! Playing it safe for the nerd crowd here. That was a good call. Yeah, no one disagrees with that. But I just love the originals. The episode 1, 2, and 3. Said no one ever. Yeah, I know, right? I do want to, in a little bit, want to open up, because there's a lot of people here that I'm sure have always had questions to ask, and a lot of people tend to ask a lot of the same questions of you. We don't want to talk about Coolio because that's a non-issue, and we don't want to, talk. Oh, actually, I do want to ask you. You mentioned it. You mentioned it on when you were on the very popular podcast Jonah Radio that. You mentioned that like when you had to research stuff that you had no idea about. I love that, like you said, you went to a Suede store when you were writing the King of Suede, which is the Police King of Pain parody, that you had to just go in there and just feel them and like take notes of all the different Suedes.
Yeah, there's a very popular clothing store. I don't think it's still there. Wilson's House of Suede and Leather. They had local commercials running all the time. And so when I did King of Suede, I thought, okay, I'm going to just hang around in Wilson's House of Suede and Leather for an afternoon with my notepad taking notes. And I almost got arrested. They thought I was stalking the place. I'm looking around, making little notes on every little thing in the store. Like,
just the lowest stakes heist of all time. Where'd all the Suede go? We should have got an alarm. And what are some other examples of the time that you knew nothing about something and you had to research?
Well, I didn't know a whole lot about the pancreas. I knew a few things about it, but
Really?
Yes. But
I thought you were smart.
Did my research, and nowadays we have the internet. And back in the old days, if I wanted to write, I want a new duck, and I wanted to learn about ducks, I had to go to the local public library and check out books on ducks.
Which they almost called the cops on you then
They did.
too.
And they call me everywhere I go. I'm this far away from being arrested.
And that I love that too. I love that you always kind of you'll take sweet things and make them very dark, or dark things and make them really sweet.
Right.
It's one of my favorite things about
that
yourself.
ironic juxtaposition.
Oh, isn't it crazy?
Isn't it crazy?
But it's everyone tends to say that you have a family show, which you do. You don't swear, but that's like
But it gets dark.
It
gets way dark sometimes.
It's way worse than swearing sometimes. It's like there's like families and kids, and he's talking about like tying
decapitation,
girls up.
yay!
Like Melanie, those were the good old days. Those are like, and then there's like people there with their kids going, this guy?
Yeah, he didn't swear.
Yeah, he didn't swear. It's a very American thing.
Yeah,
it's like as long as you don't show any boobs, we're good. And that's another thing. Your shows are, it's the, Scott Ian from Anthrax has been quoted as saying the Weird Al Yankovic live show is the loudest show he's ever
Did he say
attended.
that?
He says
Dave
the loudest
Grohl
show.
said that too.
Really? That's insane.
It's not that loud, is it?
It's pretty loud.
It's loud.
Have you guys seen Weird Al live?
I guess
it's like that, but times a million.
I guess it's loud for a comedy show. It's like louder than Louis C.K.
Sure, yeah. But it's such a huge show, and that's I'm going to tell you just a real quick personal thing. When Eric Appel did a Funny or Die video called "Weird: The Al Yankovic Story,"
with Aaron Paul and
Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad was in it, Matt Jones. And I got to play the bass player in your band, and I thought like this is incredible. This is so. It was we had the music playback to. I think like a surgeon or Eat It or something.
They did use both of them.
Yeah, and like I was playing like I was a bass player in your band next to a fake you, and then I see you watching me from. And I got real self-conscious, and then the strap on the bass broke, and I was just like, this is ridiculous.
It was like Weird Al Inception.
Yeah, exactly. But then for me to go see your show at the Orange County Fair, and you use that now in your stage show, and I saw it in the stage show, and I'm in it, and I have a line in it, and I probably the only person that's ever been to one of your shows. I started to sob. I was crying so much, where it's like I was watching it with my wife, and like I saw it on. I was like, and I started squeezing her hand, and then she like rubbed my hand. I was like, my life is real weird. Yeah. And And that was more for me than it was for you guys. I apologize. I kept on, I was so scared. I was like, I just got to get out of the way of this thing. People are here to see you, not Chris Hardwick's friend.
We love you, Jonah.
Oh, thanks, Sal. But yeah, I actually would like to start taking, because we'll take some questions, and I think that will help guide the conversation. So I think there's mics on either side if you guys want to start getting in line, and so everyone can hear you. Careful.
I think we have time for everybody.
Yes, be kind to each other. Don't, don't push or, There's that's going to be the weirdest headline of just like tragedy struck at the Weird Al Q&A today. Not since the eye stabbing in Hall H has there been such carnage. The almost eye stabbing. Okay, cool. So let's start on this side because you're in my eye view.
Okay. Hi, Al. I'm Kim. I've met your family before. I just wondered if.
Ooh.
No, I just wanted to know, does your daughter have any influence in the parodies that you make? Like, does she make any suggestions to you?
Well, she let me know when it was okay to do Iggy Azalea, because I saw Iggy Azalea going up the charts with Fancy, and I thought, okay, this could be a big hit, and this might be the hit of the summer, but I don't want to do it until I know that people are familiar with Iggy. And I asked my daughter, like, are people talking about Iggy Azalea yet? And she's like, no, not really, not so much. And I asked her a week later, and she's like, oh, that's all they're talking about. They're always talking about Iggy Azalea. And I said, okay, it reached the tipping point.
Yeah.
It's time to move ahead.
And then the next week, and she's like, no one's talking about her. Pull it back out.
Pull out.
It's too late. The tracks have been laid. Yes, that's a great question.
Thank you.
All right. What's going on over here?
Hi, Al.
Hey.
My daughters are 10, 11. They're huge fans. My 10-year-old's here. Her favorite store is Hardware Store. Her favorite song is Hardware Store.
Oh, thank you.
And she knows all the words, which is really cool.
Wow, more than I do.
All of his answers have been on this monitor, too. It's, the guy's losing it.
I would like to say that track 11 on Smells Like Nirvana almost got me in an accident the first time I heard it, with the hidden track at the end.
Oh, the hidden track. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, on the CD version of Off the Deep End, the last song is You Don't Love Me Anymore, and then there's like 10 minutes of silence, and then there's like, ah! 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 So I've.
You monster.
So I've heard about cars going off the road.
But who's just sitting there for 10 minutes with silence going, well, that's the end of that. I got to wait for the tape to turn over. And that's a bummer. The hidden tracks on CDs. That, kids don't get that.
That was the
these
thing
days.
for a while.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Which, like Nirvana did on the first pressing of CD. They had Endless Nameless, which was just a long, drony song. So, yeah.
But I would like to say that on a safer note, the originals and Weird Al playlist that we've created of all your stuff is great. Saved us on road trips so many times. Keeps the kids from complaining.
Nice.
It's awesome.
I've also made originals playlist greatest hits as well. Yeah. Who else has done that? Yeah.
And if I had known that you were going to use Riverside City College for a sports song, I would have stayed in it.
Oh.
I was in it 22 years ago. I would have stayed in, knowing that you were going to do it.
We can digitally insert you into that video if you like.
That would be awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Here we go.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see our cosplays here, but you have greatly inspired us by your song Tacky. And so that's what we decided to dress like today for this panel.
I approve. Very nice. Very nice.
But we're actually both musicians. This is my brother Tim.
Hey, Tim.
And
this is Andrew.
Yeah.
This is my brother Andrew.
Yeah. Sorry. And we're just wondering, in the business of writing parodies, do you find yourself more taking songs that you want to parody, or do you find concepts for a song and then find a song that fits it?
Yeah, when I wrote Eat It, I had the whole song written, and then I thought, what rhymes with Eat It? What?
It was a real Pink Floyd, Wizard of Oz moment when they just synced
And
up.
thankfully, Michael Jackson came along at just the right time. It was amazing.
Awesome. Well, yeah. How much do you pull, if anything? Because sometimes, Smells Like Nirvana, you were commenting on the band, and you tend to do that, like, same with the Lady Gaga song.
Yes, the Gaga.
And like, is it just the first thing that comes to you? Like, you're like, I think I want to comment on what's going on with this artist, or do you just like think of like, oh, what's another weird thing I can take this in?
Yeah, I mean, I could take it any direction. I mean, if it's a major personality or a major phenomenon like the Gaga or Nirvana, or even right, or even I did this similar thing with Achy Breaky Heart. So I don't often comment on the original song or the original songwriter. I guess when I do, it's considered therefore officially satire instead of parody.
Yeah, sure.
But if it lends itself to that, I'm happy to go in that direction. Otherwise, it's more of a straight parody where I'm basically just using the music and doing some kind of comedic take on the hook or the title.
Yeah, and that actually, Achy Breaky Song might be your meanest song.
It could be.
There doesn't seem to be a celebration.
But I'm just playing a character, Jonah. I'm playing the character of a person who doesn't appreciate the artistic stylings of Billy Ray Cyrus.
I like your
Now,
style.
that's not necessarily me. It's the character. You have to distinguish here.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, get it straight.
Can we talk to that character? What's going on, Tie-Dye?
Hi. Oh, wow. I'm at a place and I'm weirder dressed than Weird Al himself.
I'm incognito today.
Oh, gotcha. Well, sir, then. There's an ongoing theme of overreacting with, your personality, the lyrics, and they're predominantly, I noticed it in Why Does This Always Happen to Me off of Poodle Hat. And then I started looking through your other lyrics. They're replete with them. Is there a fascination with this? Is there your thoughts on it?
Well, a lot of my comedy is just exaggeration, just like making things a lot bigger than they should be, people reacting badly to things, and it's like some of those songs you mentioned. So it's just a comic device, and sometimes it works.
It's
Sometimes
that juxtaposition we were talking about earlier.
that crazy juxtaposition.
But it's funny that you say that, because then there are other times like Trapped in the Drive-Thru, which is you
Santa
take
went crazy.
you take something that's so crazy and dramatic.
So then you go the other direction. Like, I wanted to do something with Trapped in the Closet. I mean, it was a huge phenomenon with R. Kelly, but I thought I can't make this song any weirder than it is. There's no possible way.
Where's
And
my
I was like,
place in this?
So I had to go the whole other direction and make it as banal and normal as possible, but keep all the high drama.
Yeah, it's so funny with that song, and I'm like a big fan, and I never questioned the stuff. But when I saw that there was a Trapped in the Closet parody, I was like, we'll see about this. Because if you haven't seen it, get some friends together. Yeah. And have a blast. But it's like so, like I was like, what is he gonna do? Like, what? There's no way you can make fun of this. And then you.
I mean, like people saying, why didn't you do a parody of What Does the Fox Say? Like, it's a comedy song already.
Yeah.
What? Why? What are you talking about?
Exactly. Coming back over here.
Hi, Al. I met you earlier today, and I'm a big fan. And I've been through the years with you because not only was my son a fan, my daughter, but now my grandchild. But I was just curious, what is your favorite parody of all time?
I get asked that a lot, and my default answer is white and nerdy because it's the most autobiographical. I didn't have to research nerd culture too hard.
In that video, you're on that
Segway thing?
Segway thing. And you're doing it without your hands. I'm
a baller, yeah.
Dude, I've never been more scared of my life than when I was on one of those things. So go unhanded was ridiculous. That's skill, friend.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That used to be a thing at my house. If you came to visit for the first time, we made you do a lap around the house on the Segway.
You would have no house if I came over. Just the 6'4" guy gonna get you a new wall.
Hi, Al. My name is Randy Cormier. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm going to jog your memory a bit.
Okay.
1970.
I remember.
The Gong. Oh, you knew it. The Gong Show. You were a judge. Hillbilly Bear Band.
Wait, not 1970. I would have been 10 years old.
Okay, get going. Garrett, you were a judge.
Oh, okay, I was a 10-year-old judge. Okay, I'm with you.
Okay, 10-year judge. I was on the Hillbilly Bear Band on the Gong Show. You didn't gong me. From that day on, I became your biggest fan.
Hey.
So what
You're
song,
welcome.
Do you remember? You remember the Gong Show, and what song was popular at the time? Your favorite
Gosh.
song?
When I was, well, first of all, I seriously thought it was 1970.
Okay, it wasn't
But
70.
I do remember vaguely, was Stacey Q one of the
Yes.
other judges? Okay, I remember that.
Two Dodgers.
And what other song was popular at the time?
That you were singing. That you were popular with.
That I was singing. I have no idea. Do you remember?
Of course I do. I have the album and everything. We'll end it at that, and thank you very much.
He left us shrouded in mystery. The man from 1970.
That was a real gotcha question.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. Let's go over here.
Hello.
Whoa. This just keeps on getting weirder.
Oh, just wait, Jonah.
Okay.
My question to you is, over the years, you made some fabulous parody videos. Of all the ones, even including the recent ones you made, which have you enjoyed making the most?
The one that I've enjoyed making the most by far was the Tacky video. It was so fun. You all know who was in it. All all the great celebrity friends that I've got.
Yeah, I just saw a bunch of not me in it.
Yeah.
Al.
like I kept going through my address book. Who is not Jonah Ray? Who? Oh, him. No, it was just amazing. I mean, at one point, Kristen Shaw turned to me and she says, I hope we get to do this all day long. It was just, it was so. I mean, it was 6 takes, and we used the 6th take. Although takes 5 and 4 and 3 were all great too. It was kind of hard to. Maybe at some point Nerdist will put up take 5 or some kind of alternate take so you can see some of the other stuff.
That'd be really cool.
But it was just so much fun, and I would I could have done that all day.
But you had to run from the top to the bottom, right? Because they're using the elevator.
Right. Because it was in fact a one continuous shot kind of situation, and a lot of people are like, oh, I see where the edit is. It's right there. No, it was. Believe me, it was one continuous take, and for every single take, as soon as the camera was off me, I had to run as fast as I could down 5 flights of stairs because the elevator was being used, while changing my clothes, so I could hit my mark and be there at the end of the video.
That's ridiculous. Got to be in good shape for that. And even when we were watching that clip, we're just like, Jack Black, I was just like, all commitment.
Oh my
That
goodness.
guy.
Jack Black killed. If you think that was the only take that was good, every single take he was like clicking his heels above his head and like amazing energy.
He's a
And he wouldn't
comedian.
even take the elevator back up. Like, no, I'm going to jog up the stairs each time. Yeah. Hey.
That could have been real disastrous. All right, come back on this side.
Hey, Al, let me first say that you deserve all the success that you get.
Thank you.
All right.
Sure.
Had a question for you. You recently got an award as an amateur cartoonist from the Cartoonist Association of America, or the National Cartoonist Association,
Right.
I believe it's called. My question was, why don't we see more of your cartooning or any of your cartooning? And also, can I have one?
I'm not a cartoonist at all. What that came from was when I was 12 years old, I had a conversation with my guidance counselor because they try to get you to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your life when you're 12 years old. And I said, well, I really think I'd like to, work for Mad Magazine. And he said, yeah, I don't think you have a future in comedy. But why don't you be an architect? You like drafting, you like math, you could do that. And I said, okay, I'll be an architect. And I went to college and got my degree. So basically, the association gives out the ACE Award every year. Well, it hasn't been given out for a while, but it's an award given to somebody that had aspirations to be a cartoonist, but wound up going a different path with their career. So it was basically an award for being a failed cartoonist.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So thank you. I'm very proud of that.
I hope I can get an ACE award at the Oscars.
Yes.
Come up back over here.
Hey Al, so we met earlier today at your signing, and I gotta say I loved you as Isaac Newton in
Oh,
the
thank you.
epic rap battles of history.
Oh man, that was incredible.
This question's actually from the people who were behind me in line since they couldn't get a ticket to this panel. They're cosplaying as South Park characters. They want to know if you'd ever work with Matt and Trey from South Park.
I love those guys. I mean, I know them both, and I've been to Trey's house. I've been in his living room. I've sat on his chair. Yeah, I would love to work with them at any point they want to work with me. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, and also you and Trey are like you guys both love Hawaii.
Trey loves Hawaii? I did. What?
Yeah, Trey also has a place in Hawaii.
I wasn't aware of that. He
Yeah.
never calls.
If anyone has never seen, there's like a New Year's jam session.
Oh, yes.
And it's you, Joe Perry.
No, Steven Tyler.
Yeah, Steven Tyler.
And Alice Cooper. It's crazy, and every New Year's Eve we have a jam session. It's like it's a charity concert for the Maui Food Bank.
Oh wow!
But it's basically Rockstar Fantasy Camp for me because it's crazy.
Yeah. If you guys, there's a clip of it online. It's incredible. You do a great job singing.
Oh,
that.
thanks.
Yeah. You're a good singer. You should try. Such an idiot. Backstage, we're all joking around, and it's like this guy over here was like, "Don't turn it into the Chris Farley show." Just remember when you? That was great. Oh yeah, and he did have a question. He said,
Oh, sorry.
He said, why a red snapper? That's what he wanted to know.
You know what? That wasn't in the script.
Really?
Yeah, the original script that I'd written called for swordfish. And they got their fish that morning in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we're shooting it. They got it from the local fish market, and they don't have a swordfish at the fish market. They said, "We have red snapper, very tasty." So it became a red snapper.
Nice. That's also where you found that actor. All right, over here.
Okay, I don't think I can quite beat that Gong Show story, but my name is Rebecca Richards. When I was in high school, a bunch of us in your IRC chat room might have found your wedding registry, and I might have sent you a Shel Silverstein book.
Well, thank you.
I was very pleased that you sent me a postcard instead of a restraining order. And I'm kind of curious if you still have the book.
Yeah, of course we still have the book. You know, it's we love Shel Silverstein, and thank you again for the lovely wedding present.
It's on, it's on the evidence shelf.
It came back, the postcard specifically said, "That was very unexpected." And like many years later, I was like, that is a loaded sentence.
Awesome.
Thank you for being very nice to a very, very young child.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. Coming up over here.
Hey, Al. One of my fondest memories, my first concert was 1999 Orange County Fair, where I ran around the arena with a pair of giant scissors before the concert.
They let you do that?
12-year-old me. But my question is kind of based around that. With the move toward, you've talked about digital distribution away from studio albums, what's touring going to be like in the future for you, and how long do you want to keep doing it?
I'd like to keep doing it for as long as people will allow me to keep doing it. I mean, you know, I'm not going to get tired of it. It's not going to ever get old for me. So when people finally say, "Okay, Al, we've had enough," then I'll maybe slow down. But I don't think it's going to affect touring so much. I mean, it's not going to be based around, you know, album releases or anything like that. I mean, basically, whenever we feel like going out, we'll go out, and there'll be, you know, hopefully some new material every time we go out to keep it fresh. But you know, all of this is kind of a new frontier for me because, you know, the album deal is finally over, and I'm just right now trying to figure out, you know, what my plans are. And, you know, everybody's like, all these interviews I've been doing, I was like, "So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "I think I'm doing this. I don't know yet," you know. So I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'll figure out something, I promise.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's gonna be very exciting to see what you're able to pull off now.
Me too.
Yeah. Let's just try and think of some stuff now.
All right, let's spitball. What do you think?
Got any ideas? Puppet show.
Edison cylinders.
We weren't serious. What's going on?
Hello, governors.
Hello.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say I love all of your work, and you are a bloody best. And my question is, How do you know if something is a good parody or a bad parody? Example, you and Edgar Wright. Example for the bad, Free Burger and Salsa. Boom!
Okay.
I really hate those two guys.
Well, if parody is good, if it's funny, if people like it. I mean, I give several rules for good parody writing, one of which I like to think that a good parody is funny even if you're not familiar with the original source material. Yes. Like for people like Jonah, it's important that they still find the new album funny even though they have no idea what's going on anymore.
Huh? What?
And also, the songs need to sustain their humor. I mean, a lot of amateur parodies basically build up to a punchline in the chorus and then they go nowhere. And a good parody needs to not only be as good in the third verse, it needs to be better. It needs to build its comedy. And the rest you can learn from my seminar, which I'll be giving next week.
I won't be here next week. Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to make a funny song to have to also consider it like an entire comedy piece where you have to raise the stakes every single time. And it's you've always been able to do that really well. And also, I think with your songs, the way they hold up is because you're actually saying something. Like you have another commentary going on over like the entire parody.
There's a whole world, a whole subtext behind everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like Doggy Dog. Like you just you love to take down yuppies, is what it seems like.
Those darn yuppies.
Just like materialistic people. Like that's a lot of your songs tend to lean towards just kind of taking those people.
There's
down.
a lot of hidden rage in my music.
There really is. He was such a nice guy. What's going on?
Hey, Al.
Hey.
My name is Dimitri. By the way, thank you for making my childhood weird, and for that matter, my adulthood too.
My pleasure.
Never regretted it. So I have a question about some of the cameos you've done on various internet shows. I love the work you did with the memes on the auto-tune. And I just wanted to ask, how do you decide kind of what you'll cameo in and what other people's works you'll appear in?
Just if it's fun. That's the only thing. It's like, if it sounds like it's a good time, I'll do it. I do a lot of podcasts because of that. It's just like sort of like, I don't have a lot of free time, and it's often difficult for me to make time to hang out with my friends. But if like somebody calls up or emails me and says, "Hey, you want to do my podcast?" Like, yeah, sure. That sounds like a nice time. So it's really for grins. I mean, it's not like a career move or some kind of calculated decision. It just, if it sounds like fun, I'll do it.
Awesome. And also, any plans on ever doing more movies? Because I think UHF is it's so well done, and you and Jay are great partners. I mean, his manager who also directed UHF is just and also was a big part of just the music videos as well, right? Until you started like directing them yourself.
For the first decade, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I just think that it's in a time where there's micro budget movies being made. It seems like a good time that you'd be able to like figure something out like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be more involved in feature films. I was going to do my 50 Shades of Grey movie, but somebody else is already doing that. It's just really disappointing.
I heard about that.
But no, I would love to do that. I doubt that it would be UHF 2, and I'm very sorry.
The story's been told.
But I think I could do a movie with that same kind of sensibility, but just go somewhere else with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, whatever that was. Okay.
Go. What's going on up?
Hey Al, how you doing? I hope you're enjoying Comic-Con.
I am.
Thank you so much for all of your work. I think everyone included here would say that you've changed our lives. For me personally, just helped me to be who I wanted to be and not have to worry about what other people thought. I wanted to ask you, we've all grown. I want to ask you how you've grown over 30 years, both personally and musically. What are just some, what are your thoughts on that?
I like to think that I've gotten better over the years. I mean, I listened to some of my older albums, and it's sort of like looking at baby pictures. I can kind of see where I came from, and I like to think I'm better now. But I don't have the George Lucas impulse to go back and like redo my first 2 albums.
Though, I would love a dubstep remix collection of your first 2 albums. Yeah, that in your life has gotten so much more full. Like you have a family.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I was totally happy. I was Behind the Music made a big deal of the fact that I was pushing 40 and still single, and I was happy. I was totally happy. But then I got married to a wonderful woman. I'm even happier. And then we had a child, and I feel happier still. So I've had a nice life.
That's great. What do you like better, the kid or the #1 record?
Gosh, but they're so close.
I just saw like a quote. You're like, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've had the best week of my life. I was like, ooh. Can't say it.
Yeah, that didn't sit well with the family either. Like, not your wedding day, not the birth of your child. I meant career, not life. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. What's going on?
Yeah, hi, Al. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I have a question, and my wife has a comment. My question is, what was your inspiration for Weasel Stomping Day?
I just wanted to do a song about some kind of made-up holiday, because there's a lot of actual bizarre holidays that are on record, and it just sounded like a fun thing to do. I wanted to do that kind of '60s TV special instrumentation, like what was it, like the Grinch Stole Christmas, I guess. There are a lot of those kind of holiday specials that had that kind of really cheery, upbeat music, and I wanted to do a really dark, sick, twisted holiday with this really cheerful music.
Hi, Al.
Hello.
Oh, it's his wife.
Oh, hi.
Hi, my wife. I've sat on your lap before.
Well, hello.
All right, so what's
Back in 1985, I was 18 years old, and I sat on your lap, and it was one of the best things of my life.
Wow.
Not your wedding day to your husband that's standing right next to you?
One more thing. I wanted to let you know that both my husband and I are huge fans, and we're celebrating our 17th anniversary tomorrow.
Well, congratulations. That's wonderful.
No better place to
Thank
celebrate.
you for making our lives absolutely wonderful.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Cool. All right, we got a couple more.
Hi. First of all, it's an honor to meet you, Mr. Yankovic. And I have, if you had the choice to redo one of your songs, what would you change?
Oh gosh. Like I said, there's so much stuff like on my first album particularly. The first album was recorded like in 10 hours. It was just like, okay, My Balone is way too fast, but it's good enough. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So yeah, well maybe My Balone. I mean, because that was like so much faster than it should have been.
I love that about it. It gives it a real urgency.
I didn't mean My Balone. I meant something else. No, I don't know. It's hard for me to pick just one thing. There's so many things that if I had the inclination to do that, I would redo a lot of early stuff. But there's not like one in particular that really stands out.
Okay.
Awesome. And also, this kid sounded like the first time I approached Al. I was working at a record store in Hollywood, and Al was there with his wife. And I was like, oh, here we go. This is it. This is where I'm going to meet my idol. And then I walked up to him. I was like, Mr. Yankovic. And then you turn around. You're a delightful guy. You're like, oh, yes, hi. And I was like, I'm just a big fan. I grew up in Hawaii. You never came to Hawaii, but I'm from Hawaii, and you never were there. But it's okay. It's okay. I saw you in Sacramento in '99. Anyway, I think Frank's 2000 TV is my favorite song. I put it on mixtapes next to like really awesome music too. And it's like I like good music, and I work here, but I'm a comic. Like I mean, I work here, but I'm a comic. I'm trying to be a comic. Oh God! And you're like, oh no, thanks. Nice to meet you. This is my wife. I was like, uh huh.
Do I really sound like that?
You handled it way better than me, friend. Awesome. Is that it? Is that we? Oh, sorry.
Hi, Word Al. I'm Travis from Renton, Washington.
Hey, Travis.
And I wonder has there ever been a song that, despite being popular, you still thought might either not make a good parody or wasn't good for you to make a parody of?
The only case that's applicable is all the times when I couldn't think of a good enough idea. And that happens a lot. I mean, there's a lot of songs that would be good candidates, very popular, very catchy, all the earmarks of a good target. And I just kind of go through, every single variation on a theme, every tangent, every possible rhyme and half rhyme and pun. And I just can't think of anything that I think is clever enough or that would sustain for a whole song. So in that case, I just let it go, or I'll put it in the polka medley because everything sounds better as a polka anyway.
The polka medleys are awesome.
Thank you, man.
Awesome, cool. Well, it's been an honor to talk to you for this amount of time in such circumstances. And also, I do want to point out that I did get you to do. I wrote a sketch for you when we were worked on Whip Soup together. And then on the new show I'm doing for Comedy Central, I got you to do a version of my favorite song of yours, "Dare to Be Stupid," with a string quartet.
Yes.
Yeah. And one of our other ideas was for you to do "Happy Birthday," but with an actual punk band.
Right. And just trash the whole place.
Yeah. Just tear it apart. And I remember we were both I was like, oh yeah, like when Fear was on SNL. And I was like, yes, this is perfect. We're brothers. But thank you so much for being a friend and continuing to make music, hopefully for a very long time. Give it up for Weird Al Yankovic.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.